Hello everyone and welcome to my challenge for Project Life. And so I am showing you what I have available right now. I'm starting on week 9 of my baby's album. I had my journaling done that I showed you there in the beginning, and I'm just showing the little prep that I did ahead of time, which is print my photos, cut them down, and I wrote the date on the back. So I'm jumping right into my first layout. It's been over a year since I did my last Project Life style page for my son's album, so I'm a little rusty, and also I'm new to Project Life anyways, so you'll see this very first week I kept it very simple because I was worried about the time and my getting too carried away, and also I just wanted to make sure I met my goal of getting this done in about 30 minutes. So you'll see the spread is really simple, but it's the point of this challenge is to get them done and to move on in my son's baby album. So anyway, week 9, very simple title card. I was just showing you that these chipboard letters, I do add adhesive to the back of them because they don't stick well. So these are items that I'm no longer going to buy in the future. It's just added time and it makes them hard to use for me. So these were in my stash for a long time, so I'm trying to use them up. I used the basic gray stamp set to stamp the date there in the bottom. It's a little off center, but I'm okay with that. I added that little heart sticker to try to balance it out, and I called that card done. So that was my title card, and on to my next 2 pockets. By the way, on this first week 9 and 10, I'm using the design page layout F, which is all 3x4 pockets except for the very first pocket. It's a 4x6. So very simple. I'm just adding some stickers from my Stampin' Up! Baby themed Project Life kit that I ordered a long time ago, and just like that, those 2 photos are done. So these are the next 2 photos. Like I said, I kept very quick and easy because I was just, again, very cautious of the time and trying to get these done quickly, being my first layout for this challenge. So that first photo, I added a sticker again from my Stampin' Up! Kit, that again, an older kit that I ordered, and just added some journaling to that little label there. And then just to add a little bit more embellishment, these are some old Stampin' Up! Enamel dots type things that, again, have been in my stash for a long time and are in my kit for this challenge. So I just added a few to this photo to dress it up just a little bit. And I added one more enameled shape sticker to this card as well, a little black arrow, and I think that just kind of adds a little touch. And I think I'm going to call these 2 photos done. I think I ponder for a little bit and then again, okay, make a decision, I'm done, get this moving. So on to the next photos. Again, very simple, starting with a sticker label, and these are from Simple Stories, an older kit as well that I purchased a long time ago that has been sitting in my stash. So very happy to put these to use. I thought I was going to use this sticker, and it was too big, so I decided to cut it down. And then later, once I cut it down, I tried to put it on this photo. I actually stuck it down, and then I changed my mind. I didn't like how it looked. It was too random, and I had nothing else to go with it in my little kit, so I just took it off. And so I just decided to go back to enamel dots to dress up this photo a little bit. So I discovered as I was doing these that I was looking for more little embellishments that I didn't have in my kit or readily available. So I think for my next week's spreads, I'm going to add some washi tape to my kit so that I could add the little pops of color and layers that I like to add to the bottoms and tops of my photos to dress them up a little bit. So like I said, they weren't in my kit initially for these first few weeks, so I'm going to add them to my kit after I finish this week's challenge, and then I'll have them to use for the future spreads. So again, I'm just using some more stickers that were from Stampin' Up! That XOXO was from that same Baby Project Life kit from Stampin' Up! And again, another label. Very, very easy, sticker crazy on these photos. So I had a lot to journal in my notebook, as you saw earlier, so I got 2 journaling cards that I thought I was going to fill up. I decided to consolidate my journaling because I edited a lot out that I initially wrote. It just wasn't that important to me at this time to journal in his album, so it ended up fitting on one journaling card. I added some more of those dots just to add some pop of color and to balance the card and fill in that blank space. And then I just wanted to add this white gel pen border to this black edge. I just felt it was too black and boring. So now that I didn't use that second journaling card, I had an extra pocket to fill, so I went to my little stash of journaling cards and I decided to find one that was already pre-printed and done that had the similar colors, the gray and the blue. So I just chose that one and I'm going to use it as a filler card. So here's this first week in my challenge. As you can see, very clean and simple, and this is how it's going to fit in the pockets. So this one here, I'll show you the stats. This was my first week in this challenge, and this layout took me 31 minutes, so I was off to a great start. So now that I got my mojo going, I'm on to the next week, week 10. And so again, I'm just trying to lay out my photos what I had, knowing I'm using the back side of the F layout. So I was just trying to get my head into how they were going to go and pick out which pictures I was going to use. But again, I was being very quick to make my decisions because that is part of my time for this challenge. So I chose a title card, and so I'm just going to circle the dates that go along with this week. Just filling in the card accordingly, and then just to add a little bit of embellishment, I decided to just add this little dot border around the entire edge. And then I was going to use that other heart tag, but I use it later. So I found this other blank tag in my stash, so I just decided to cut off the top, staple it here, and then I'm going to embellish that little corner there. I had these sticker or heart cork from Pink Paisley, never been used until now. And then of course, just to add a little bit more, I went back to enamel dots to finish this card. So I probably would have used washi again if I had some in my little kit, but I went with the enamel dots. And I'm just happy to use them up. So I just thought I'd use some green because in some of these photos there was a little bit of green. And so that will finish this title card. So on to the first photo of the spread. So I'm using another label sticker. This is from Teresa Collins. I trimmed off the edge to make it look like it was coming off the edge of the photo. Excuse me, which I like the way that looks. And so instead of just handwriting what I did on the last week's spread, I decided to use some more of my alpha stickers because I am trying to use these up. I have a huge stash of alphas that I'm trying to get through. So this was a nice opportunity. I had these small gray letters that worked. Yes, they were bigger than my label, but I think it still works out okay the way it turned out. And then I decided to do some stamping. So I'm using Stays On ink, which dries quickly, to stamp on the photo directly. And so I'm going to first stamp the first word of the stamp that says love, and then I just kind of wiped it off. And then I'm using a Post-it note to cover my photo to protect it because I'm stamping the second word, and I didn't want any ink residue that was left on that word love to get on my photo. And so it took me a while, and so the ink dried up on my stamp, so I had to do it again. And so that's why I had to stamp it twice. And then now I got my little stamped image there on the corner of my card. And then just for a little embellishment, I added this little heart wood veneer to finish that off. And I really like the way that one turned out. Clean and simple. So on to the next. And so I wanted to, again, use some more of my alpha stickers here. And so instead of another label, I'm just putting these alphas directly on the photo. And then again, I really probably wanted some washi down there on the bottom, but again, I didn't have any readily available in my kit. So again, went back to enamel dots just to dress up the photo a little bit more and add a little bit of balance to it. And so on to the next photos. So here I had these photos, kind of a sequence of emotions of my little one, and I wanted to put them all next to each other. So I began using, sorry I'm a little off camera for this, but began using these alphas to make a little title that's going to span across all the photos. And then through photo or video editing, that first photo I swapped it out to a little bit more of a happier because I'm spelling out the word happy baby, and that first photo he wasn't really happy, so I swapped it out with this one. And I like the way that turned out, and those bold white letters I think really stand out against the blue of his little shirt there, so I like the way that turned out. So now I'm looking for a filler card for that last pocket, and so I'm just going by color, and then I'm finally using that little tag that I initially chose, and I'm just using my tiny attacher to staple it to the card. And then I'm just going to add a little border around the outside, and then I kind of mess up and I went off the edge of the card. And so just to make that look more intentional, I went off the bottom again here, and then I made another messy line to make it look more intentional rather than a mistake. And then now I'm just trying to figure out the order of which way they're going to go in the pocket, and so I think I like it like that. And so now I'm just moving them out of the way so that I can finish up the last few pockets. So these are the last photos. They're going to go on the bottom, and then I have one more pocket that I'm going to use as my journaling spot. So I picked that card out from my little iris container, and now I'm going to just start with that card to get my journaling done. So I got my date roller stamp here to stamp the date, and again I'm just using StazOn ink because it was on my desk already. So I have the date there, and then I'm going to begin just writing my journaling. And then I like to add to the key word of this journaling. I chose to use these same alpha stickers to tie in the color and to make it balanced. And because that's kind of the highlight of the photos, is that he finally took a pacifier for the first time. So I thought that was appropriate. And then I'm writing I stamped the second date because it happened those 2 days where he took the pacifier for the first time on those 2 days, and that he actually slept with it. So that's what I was journaling about. And so I finished the journaling, and now I'm just trying to decide how to decorate these photos. So again, back to these labels, and thank goodness for these label stickers. Like I said, they're all from the Stampin' Up! Little Project Life kit I purchased a while back. So this is an actual image I cut from the magazine catalog of Stampin' Up! So I just decided to use it as an embellishment, so I cut the text. And then I had this sticker, and just by chance, this was a happy accident, that little word sticker fit perfectly atop that label sticker. So that worked out really nice, and that was accident. And then I decided to add this little wood veneer arrow to dress up the card, and I got a little extra adhesive on my photo there, so I was just trying to wipe it off a little bit. And then I sat for a minute to try to decorate that last photo, but I just left it blank. So here is the finished second week, or week 10, of my baby's layout. And so this layout took me 36 minutes. And so all in all, here's my grand totals for this week, or this challenge. So far I have 2 layouts done, and I've used 1 hour and 7 minutes. So stay tuned, and I hope I'll see you in my next video.